how's it going? It's Jamie, the Crafty DIY Guy. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing all Dollar Tree DIY videos for you today. And I'm really excited about these because they are very, very easy to do. And they give you such a cool kind of high impact look. In fact, I think one of them is a Kirkland's dupe. And they wanted like $80 for this idea that I did for you for $2. So I'm super excited for you to see that one as well. Also, I want to say thank you, of course, to all of my subscribers, my long-termers, my short-termers, my newbies, everybody all around. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Also, it's been my birthday month, so I appreciate all of the birthday shout-outs. Thank you guys so, so much. If you're brand new to the channel, maybe you're checking me out for the first time, maybe YouTube even recommended the video to you. Thank you, YouTube. Then, of course, I want you to stick around, become a subscriber, and hang out with us. Occasionally, you'll see my cat, Mr. Otis, who will pop into the video every once in a while and say hello. And I like to do DIY projects. I like to do craft projects. I like to do thrift flips. I even do a few little home renos around the house here. So let's get into the video. So I will stop rambling because I like to do that a lot too. All right, guys, here we go. All right, you guys, and for my first project, I'm going to be using one of these coveted drawers that I picked up from Dollar Tree during my last haul. I absolutely love this drawer. I also saw these mini magnifying glasses that I picked up in the party section at Dollar Tree. I liked these a lot and thought that they kind of looked like feet. So I thought I would create a planter using my handy new box here. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is take that hardware off the front of it because we will be using that again. I just don't want to paint over it. So go ahead and put that somewhere safe. Put those screws somewhere safe. Put that plate somewhere safe and just set that aside until after we're done staining our box. So for the feet or these mini magnifying glasses, what I'm going to do actually is I've got a piece of scrap foam core here. And I'm actually, because this side here has this flat surface and the smaller side, I think that would look better as a foot on the base of this versus doing something like that. So this side that has the magnifying glass, it's great because I can glue something down to that. And also, I'm going to be adding glue to this now and gluing these down to my white piece of foam core there. And the reason why I'm doing that is because these are so lightweight and plastic that when I will go outside and spray paint them, I don't want them to blow away in the wind. So now that everything is dry, I just took everything outside, spray painted it. I just went for it and gave it one kind of decent coating of black spray paint and let that dry out in the sun. And it worked out fine, actually. The spray paint that I'm using does work on plastic. So again, didn't really have any issues with this. I went ahead and let that dry. And then I went back inside and used my Minwax color stain, which I again love so much. I'm almost out of this walnut color. And I just added a generous amount to my cloth and just started staining these boxes. Look how good the stain adheres to these boxes. I love how rich they look. I love the grain of the wood that really comes out, even though this is probably a pressed wood of some kind that these little crates are made out of. And then I'm literally going to stain the inside and the outside of that box because I'm going to use this box for a lot of different things. It's going to be very, very versatile. So after everything dried, I did take my hardware and just add it right back to the front. I think that hardware is so, so cute and really, really makes this just whole overall look. And then as you can imagine, once I add those black feet back to it, it is going to be even cuter and just really have a super, super cool industrial modern kind of a feel. Now, go ahead and, of course, line up those holes and use those same holes again. If you want to put a little bit of glue down in those holes, you can, because this is kind of an MDF, particle board kind of a thing. You may have to do that to make sure everything stays. Now, when I did take my feet, or what my new feet are, off of the tag board, some of that tag board stuck to the bottom of it, but you know what? It's not a big deal at all, because again, this is going to be at the part of the on the bottom of the box that you're not even going to see. I'm going to go ahead and just glue all of those feet down in place, and I'm making sure that I'm kind of doing it in the exact same four corners for all four pieces. And then everything was dried and I had the cutest little plant stand. How adorable is this? I absolutely love the way that this turned out. You can add your own little message into the center there. I just added a very simple hello. And again, think about the versatility of this. You could put candles in it. You could put succulents in it. You could put a plant in it. You could display a knickknack in it. I really think that these are probably my newest favorite DIY item from Dollar Tree. My next Dollar Tree DIY is going to incorporate these new fluted bowls that I picked up during my last haul. Also, I had one of these leftover ceramic candlesticks. I'm going to go ahead and separate the two bowls and just put one aside, use that for another project later on. I'm going to take the fluted bowl and glue it down to the top of the candlestick. Just for the sake of drying time and for the sake of the DIY, I'm just going to use hot glue. You could certainly use an E6000 or something like that if you wanted this to be a holder or a long-term hold or a longer holder. I don't know what I was going to say. So when everything is dry, this is what it looks like, and it's almost a perfect fit. It's kind of great the way it turned out. Now, I am taking a spray paint, or at least what I thought was spray paint. I thought I was using a white spray paint, but I ended up mistakenly grabbing some white enamel, which kind of gives it a texturized coating. And you'll see when it all dries, it actually turned out really kind of cool. It gave a really neat texture on everything that made it look like it was almost like a stone effect. So I'm going in, I'm kind of doing a couple different coats here and letting that dry. And then once everything was dry, check this out, is the cutest little plant stand. You could put a candle in it again. Super, super versatile. Check out how texturized that is. I really love the effect that this gave it. I love the way this looked. You could certainly add a bow or a ribbon or something around it. I thought that this was perfect as is, and I was super, super happy with the way this one turned out. For my next DIY, I'm going to be using this love sign that I picked up at Crafter Square and also this cross. I saw something at Kirkland's that I thought was pretty cool, and they wanted almost $80 for it, and I knew that I could easily recreate it with Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go ahead and take the cross. I'm going to remove that piece of twine. I removed the love sign from there. Sometimes they come out really easy, sometimes they don't. And the idea here is now I'm going to tape off the cross because I'm going to kind of give this an industrial vibe as well. We're going to tape off the longer part, and then we're going to tape off the cross part, or the vertical part and the horizontal part, with my painter's tape here. This is painter's tape that I just grabbed, I think from Home Depot probably. And you're going to create a crisscross that kind of looks like this. Now for the unfinished part that is showing, I'm actually going to use my Minwax Onyx stain, and I made a mess here. I used way too much stain, but that's okay. It all cleaned up and it all came out for the most part. And I was able to salvage a lot of this. And what's great about that painter's tape, that was the frog's tape that I was using, it didn't soak through at all. Now, for the leftover pieces of stain here, I'm just going to kind of slightly buff the stand. I'm not interested in coloring it or covering it completely with the black stain. I just wanted to give it a little bit of a dusting, if you will. Now I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to go ahead and just dry that black stain. You can kind of see there where the green tape is, so no worries there. Again, just making sure that this is nice and dry and getting that stain perfectly dry so I can begin working on the next part of it. So after everything was dried, I then went ahead and started peeling away my green tape, which revealed this beautiful unfinished wood. And I loved the transition with the black stained onyx wood. Now, the next thing that we needed to do was to paint that unfinished wood. Now, you could do this really in any color that you wanted to. You could easily paint this in white or black or your favorite color. Maybe not black, but you could do it in white. You could do it in blue. You would want to do something that transitions well with the black stain that you already put on the other side. I'm choosing again to use my shoe polish trick. And again, I'm going to be using my little dabber brush here, and I am just going to take my Old English shoe polish and just simply start dabbing that all the way down into that area and getting a beautiful stain color and loving the way that this is looking. While the cross was drying, I went ahead and did the same on the base itself. You may remember that we used some of the black onyx stain originally on the base, and now I'm just going to go back through and kind of cover any of the areas that that black stain did not cover with the shoe polish itself. That way it gives it this really cool kind of brown-black feel. I like the transition of how the base is kind of that black-brown combo, and then as it kind of grows up through the cross, you've got the distinct black and brown lines and the separations. I love the way this looks, and again, Kirkland's wanted almost $80 for this same type of look. Now, for the cross itself and for standing it up, all I'm going to do is take my hot glue. I'm going to add a generous amount right there in the center, and then I'm going to stand the cross up in the center of that, and I'm just going to hold it in place until it dries. Once it is dried, you have the coolest knick-knack that I love so much. A very cool industrial vibe. I love the modern look of this. I think it's a fantastic way to display your faith in your home, and it definitely is something very different, and I'm loving it.